Are you back for more answers?
Today, we're not gonna lie.
Welcome everyone back for part 2 of You Asked, We Answer. So I'm Zelanie.
And I'm Natasha.
And here we have a bowl of questions that you guys have sent through our Telegram chat. And we're going to continue answering more questions. We had a lot of fun for part 1 and we are all set for part 2. So Natasha, do you want to do the honors?
Okay.
Okay.
How do you talk about your feelings to your parents? You don't. Just kidding. Do you?
I think when it comes to lighthearted stuff, for sure. When it comes to, seeking for advice, I think it's okay. Whether it's
because that one more objective, right? It's
Yeah.
not so,
But, let's assume, right, that this question is perhaps you are feeling like, you need to talk to them, right, about feelings that you have towards them, which could be the most challenging one. Like, let's say you got issue with your parents. How do you bring it up to them?
Wow, very difficult.
I think when it comes to arguments, when things are very heated, right? Actually, the first thing that I would do is to walk away, physically. Because just now I say I cannot deal with anger, right? So because I know you cannot when you feed fire to fire, it just becomes
it
explosion. You just the whole house burn down, that kind of thing. So I think when I see that someone, let's say my mom, for example, she is very angry and I'm angry that she's angry with me. I would actually walk away. I would leave the living room and go to my room and not slam the door, but just close.
Politely close.
Yeah. And then she'll be saying how can you walk away? You're so rude. But I'll just let her say whatever. And then I'll go to my room and literally, I kid you not, take 10 seconds. I will count to 10 and then I will text her to explain to her why I need to leave at that point, and then find another time to talk about it.
Wow.
Yeah, when we have both cooled down and when I have sorted myself out, and I think also I think when it comes to these kind of conversations, how to have that talk with your parents, right?
So with that time, your mom really can cool down and she can talk about it
I don't know, she never barged into my room.
But let's say y'all take some time to cool down, then you want to reopen the conversation again. She okay to talk, right?
Yes, she's okay to talk. Because at that point in time, she's also not thinking straight. Cause very angry, all people are focused on, right, at that point in time is what do you do wrong, how it affected them, and they want you to do something about it. Yeah. So I think when things have cooled down, maybe she can explain, why she's so angry. Rather than just I'm angry,
that's
you
not
are
bad though, that your mom can do that.
But after a long time, maybe it could be the next day. It could be a few days later.
Because my experience with my mom, right, is that she will cool down. But I don't think she's
ready to talk.
It. She just moves on with life. So if I bring out the conversation again, oh my gosh, I'm asking for trouble. Because whatever happened 2 days ago, right, will repeat again today. That same explosion will happen. But I think then that's where maybe it's about knowing how your parents work and how they are, right?
It's true.
And tailoring your approach to that.
Yeah. So I think one is firstly to define the objective of that conversation. Do you what would you want your parents to maybe take away from that? Is it that you want to express to them a need that you have that they weren't able to meet? Are you asking your parents for advice? I mean, it could be something you face in school and you feel very down about it, and then you just want, is it just a listening ear? Yeah, I think that's something that it's just to manage our own expectations also. What and it's also to make the conversation more focused. Yeah, and then I think also is to find a good time and place to have that conversation. If going out of the house helps, because sometimes at home it gets very tense. Whatever that you're angry or upset about is there,
out of the house, then they cannot raise their voice.
They cannot That's right. Go to a public,
must go those atas TWG kind. Then they cannot be very angry there.
Go to the library.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but maybe or even like if you feel like wow, like sitting, and looking like face like eye to eye also very scary. Maybe you could go to the park and just walk, like include an activity like walking to like ease your nerves, that kind of thing. And I think the most important thing, right, is to ask yourself like what would be the worst case scenario that might happen from that conversation. And if you're okay with the worst case scenario, then go for it lah.
Yeah,
try.
it's true.
Yeah, because I feel like at the end of it, right, it comes down to us like taking that initiative. And I feel that's like a win, in itself. Your parents might invalidate your feelings. Your parents might, I don't know, worst case scenarios are they like reject like your ask for
Dismiss
help.
your feelings and all that.
And all these are, it's definitely, it will be very sucky lah. Yeah. And I think if you imagine, like if you think about all this and then you say to yourself like, okay, if this and this can happen, I can handle it. I have maybe a group of friends that, I can go to that, can follow up with me also, kind of thing, like to check on me. Yeah, I would say try. Because I think it's a win if you try. Yeah, I think you owe it to yourself, to be able to try. Yeah.
I feel it's also a lot of like calibrating over time. So in the same way, like let's say in a relationship, right, you probably learn to fight better over time, right? You learn what are some things that are very unhelpful to say. You learn what is a very, very bad timing to fight. Like don't start a fight when both of you are already like in bed ready to sleep. Then like, can I say something that you said just now?
Or like let's say your parents like very stressed out at work, very busy, very tired, then you like catch them off guard.
Yeah. So I think like over time we learn how to fight better with our partners, and in the same way like with your parents, right, I think give yourself time and space to figure out a better dynamic as to how to talk about these things with them. Just because you do it once and it turns out badly doesn't necessarily mean that it's never going to work. I think it's about figuring out what works out. So for example, right, I think with my dynamic with my parents, we're really not the kind that, or at least in my experience so far, we're not the kind that really can sit down and have like a long conversation about what went wrong the other day. Like what I said, that explosion will probably restart lah, and then I will need to take time out again to calm down. But what I have found to be quite helpful are short spurts of conversations. So for me, at least, I won't really sit down and try to like build my case, right? But I will just share like, hey, by the way, that day, I think what made me feel, I think what I felt was this, but it's okay, I understand where you're coming from, so that's it lah for me. So I think I at least share with her how I have processed it in a concise way. Sometimes I think because she doesn't feel, when I share it that way, she doesn't feel attacked. She doesn't feel like I'm trying to drag out the whole issue again and confront her and make her say sorry, right? Actually, my mom does take it better in that sense, and she's able to accept it. So now it has evolved from me being able to tell her how I feel. I didn't agree with how she spoke to me. I can now also tell her about how I don't really agree with the way she speaks about certain things or to certain people, right? And generally, she does take it quite well, because I think there is that trust that I don't dump on her, but I do think about it on my own, and then I just kind of bring bite-sized processing
Keep it
to
casual,
her, right? And then she can understand it lah. So I think it's different lah, everybody's dynamic with your parents, but perhaps it is to figure out what works with yours, and also give yourself time to figure that out. You're not gonna get it right on the first try. And it's okay lor.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, well, let's hope for a lighter topic this time.
Yeah, let's go.
Just because I'm close with a guy doesn't mean I have any kind of feeling towards him at all. Because first of all, I am clear that it's clearly a platonic friend. If it isn't, then it probably should have happened a long time ago, right? Or even all along, this guy doesn't have what I look for in a partner. Therefore, we can only be friends and nothing more. He can be a good friend, but not a boyfriend, because I'm unable to love his flaws. Also, it's actually a comment that one of our viewers sent in. Yeah, rather than a question. But wow.
I hope your guy friend don't know that you're talking about him. It's so sad.
Okay lah, it's like it's descriptive but not specific. So it could be quite a lot of people. Would you like to comment on that?
Okay, come. Let me look at it.
Because I feel like you have a lot more guy friends than me.
Yeah.
As from our guys and girls
can't
be just friends episode.
It was you on the episode.
Yes.
I feel like I understand where you're coming from. That like, just because you're close to a guy doesn't mean you have any kind of romantic feeling towards him. Agree. I also have that experience.
You can relate,
and
right?
Yeah, I really can. Because like what I said in the podcast, right? Like to me, I really don't see you as like girlfriend, guy friend. I just see you as friend. So like I don't particularly feel like just because you're my guy friend, then like there's always a risk for romantic affection. I've had guy friends who have been my friends since like I was 15 till now. We're still very, very good friends. And zero romantic attraction to them. I also don't think they're romantically attracted to me lah. Or I think. Yeah, so what I would say though is that okay, you know the whole idea about how it probably should have happened long ago if something was to happen. I don't think so. I think the evidence would tell you quite differently because there are many people who get together after years and years of being friends.
It's true.
Yeah, and also I feel like romantic affection
it doesn't have to happen at the start.
Yes, correct. It can spring up on you over time one. Like in Chinese, there's this saying, right? 日久生情, that if you spend a lot of time with a person, over time, it really can grow into a romantic affection. And I think that that's true lah. If you just look at the evidence around you, it doesn't mean that you necessarily will fall into that category, but it does happen. And so I think it is it's untrue lah to say that it would never happen just because it hasn't happened yet. But I do agree that it is possible for us to have close guy friends and not have any feelings for them. I have been in that situation many times. But what I would say also is that there is never really 100% guarantee that they do not have that feeling for you. I'm not saying then you cannot be friends, right, with your guy friends. I think that's a bit harsh and extreme lah. But what I would say is that for me at least, with these guy friends, I very much want to be their friends. But I also want to be mindful and careful that I am responsible with their heart and responsible with their feelings. So just because like I don't have feelings for them, right, doesn't necessarily mean that they will never have feelings for me. And it is unfair for me to say like, I have no feelings for you, then I'm just going to do whatever I want because I'm clear on my end. Like I think that is a little bit... If
you're not clear, is your problem.
Yeah, I feel... I take issue with that statement and like I'm gonna be quite strong about it because I really don't think that it's fair to treat a friend that way. Of course, I'm not saying then that all your guy friends like you and all my guy friends like me, right? But I think it is at least fair to consider how do I best relate to you in such a way that honors you and respects you rather than I am just mostly concerned about how I feel in this friendship. And if it's chill for me, then I'm just going to have fun. And if you like me, then that's your problem because I already made it clear that I don't like you. You know, I think that that's a bit too self-focused lah. Yeah, I'm not saying go and ask all your guy friends, okay, whether they like you. But I think maybe there's room to sit back and wonder lah whether we can be a bit more careful and cautious with our guy friends'
how we relate
feelings, so that we can set them up to not have to go through that confusion and that hurt and pain lah. But if they end up liking you, then maybe you also open your heart and ask yourself lor, whether you are attracted to them. If you can be friends with them for so long, there are probably some things about them that you enjoy, right? And I think if they're really that good a friend and they end up having feelings for you, maybe don't need to so quickly feel icky about it and like close the door lah. But there's also room to consider it. I think there was this part of the question, right, that said like, I'm very sure that he doesn't have what I look for in a partner and we can only be friends and nothing more. If you really are very sure in quite absolute terms, and I've been there before where I have some guy friends who I really, really appreciate and love as friends, but I know that fundamentally there are some things that are just so different between the two of us that I would honestly never consider them as lifelong partners, right? Then all the more I got to be careful in the way I treat them, that there is no hint of doubt at all that I will not have feelings for you, you know? So I think with friends that I'm particularly sure I will never get into anything romantic with, I am a lot more careful actually to send a clear message that I'm not available to you.
Yeah. To whoever that sent this question in, girlfriend, hope that your close guy friend is exactly on the same page as you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
If not, it's gonna be a weird convo.
Yes.
So,
all right.
Okay. I'm not very happy in my current job. How?
Quit lah. Okay.
Zhao, you got experience or not with this?
Wow. Okay.
I'm still in my first job.
Really? Wow, nice. You're very happy. I changed job 3 times.
Whoa.
But I've been in my current job for about 6 years. So very happy, satisfied. I think the word like happy I think I would like define it as very satisfied, and challenged and contented and all that. But yeah, I did like, I mean, that's why like, I would change job, right? Like, cause there are certain things that I'm not like, I don't see myself fully aligned to in my previous jobs. But not to say that those were bad jobs. I think I learned a lot from my previous jobs. And I would say that if you're not happy with your current job, it's very important to not ask how, but why. Like, I think the first question should be why. Like, why are you not happy? And I think you should break it down as much as you can, to be specific. Is it the workload? Is it the nature of the job? Is it the relationships you have with your boss or
the culture
your colleagues? Yes, exactly. Is it the processes? Because all these things, right, it will determine whether are they things that, can be looked at, can be negotiated, can be changed, or are they things that cannot be changed. Yes. And when you're clear about all these things, right, somehow you would begin to then slowly get closer to the eventual decision of whether to stay or leave. So I feel that for me, that was something that I think I definitely had to make sense of lah. Like, especially in my first few jobs, I really loved the culture and all that. But I think the one thing that I wasn't I realized wasn't very sustainable for me was the unpredictable working hours, and sometimes it was very long also. Because I'm not afraid of like working hard. When I believe in what I'm doing and the team is supportive and all. But I realized that if I am working late nights till 1 a.m. 2 a.m. for like more than a month, right? And there was a point that I just couldn't promise anyone that I would like be able to go out for dinner with them on the weekdays, and I wasn't home for dinner for I think got 2 months.
Wow.
And because it's like at 4 p.m, right, suddenly something might come up. And then I'm at work till 10 p.m. and stuff. So I think that was something that I realized was taking away a lot of my time and energy, right, that I would love to actually still have for people who are important to me, like my family, my friends. I was a very bad friend, I think, for quite a few months. And I think my friends and my family were like concerned for me and all. I realized I also was falling sick a lot. During
not
that
enough
time.
Rest lah.
So I think I had conversations with like my then supervisor, and they were all very understanding also actually. I really very thankful for them. They gave me some advice. I think they rearranged some of my workload. They taught me how to manage certain things better. Sometimes it's like in my head, I feel like, I need to put 100% effort into something, but actually, that thing is not as important. So I think all these things were very good learning experiences. And I think when it came to then why I quit, right, it was because of maybe certain processes. Because company process, you cannot change one. It's very, very, very difficult. I mean, that's why I arrived at decisions on whether to stay or leave. And sometimes even stay, right, could be you also stay for certain reasons, right? I remember in the Gen Z episode, when Shuni shared how she was in a very a harsh work environment. And she said that even in a harsh environment, there are still things that she can learn and grow in. And I was so it struck a chord in me, that actually she gave herself maybe 6 months or what, right? And in that 6 months, she just, give her best, learn what she can and all. And I felt that, that's a very good attitude to have also at work. And actually that gave me satisfaction. So that, in a sense, it's like happiness lah. That I kind of not just quit at the first start. But to hang in there and to learn what I can, and to also make the most of my time there as well. So I would say, know what makes you happy, I guess, what makes you satisfied. And also, whatever makes you happy, right, can it be found outside of your job?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because job is not I mean, for me, my job is part of my life, but it's not my whole life. I can find that kind of satisfaction in other areas. And I think at the end of it is whether you are able to have that kind of like balance. But if it's out of whack and it has been for a long time and you cannot really change that, then maybe you can think about like how maybe then the decision is to leave. But when you leave, right, you need to know exactly why you're leaving so that it can also then help prepare you for your next job search.
Yeah, I think it sharpens your search because now you have a clearer idea of what you're looking for in a new workplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as you were sharing also, I was reminded of the idea of seasons, that like even as we're able to make sense of what makes us unhappy at our current job, for example, like I think it also goes back to what you see this season of your life serving, right? So if you think this season of your life is a lot of you gaining that exposure, getting started in a certain industry, that might actually give you reason to bite the bullet and go through the things that make you unhappy. But you set a timeline for yourself as to how long you're gonna go through this. But also at the same time, if you're realizing that in this season your mental health has really taken a huge toll, you are starting to show signs in your body that you are really burnt out, like how it's physically manifests in your body. I think then these are also good indicators to tell you that perhaps slowing down and taking a break from this place that is triggering a lot of these struggles for you might be the good thing to do. So I think it also very much depends on what you're going through, what's important to you in that phase of life.
Yeah.
And with that, we've come to the end of NGL You Asked, We Answered.
Yay.
And I really, really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, it was really nice to, I think, see the viewers' questions, the listeners, what they're thinking of, because it feels like a conversation.
Yeah, it's a two-way thing now.
Yeah. So we really like it. And please feel free to drop more questions into our DMs or in our Telegram channel.
We're waiting.
We'll answer it next time as well. So with that, right, we've come to the end. And if you like our content, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We're on Instagram and TikTok at ngl.people, and we also have a Telegram channel where we can have conversations in between episodes. And if you like our content, you can like our video, you can share it with anybody who would enjoy it, and subscribe to our channel. And with that, we're signing off today. So until next time, bye!
See you.